State, of course, our correspondent Sarah Ayeku is on standby right now to give us an update on the situation. Yes, there you are, Sarah. How's it going for you now? You gave us an update earlier that says that INEC officials were already setting up. So, from your vantage point in Osogbo, what is the situation now?
So we moved from Oshogo. We're now in Borife local government area of the state, where you
Okay.
have specifically I'm in Iragiji, which is where the governor is from, who is also a strong contender in this election. So that's where we are now, specifically at polling unit 002, where we're expecting to see the governor also vote in this unit and some other notable politicians also vote in this unit. But let me give you a picture, an atmosphere, just so you understand the atmosphere around here. This is a town that is known for its tourist attraction. The mountains and the hills attract a lot of persons to this place. And another thing about this place, which is Iragwiji, is that although the rain is threatening to fall in this area, I doubt it would, stop or deter the residents and voters to come out to vote, because already we see that a lot of persons that at this polling unit, which is polling unit 002 in Iragwiji, and that's Berkeley local government area of the state. If I'll just flip the camera a bit, so you see the number of persons here already. So you can see that the voters are already here. At that corner there, you see that they're checking their names on the register. If you look to my right, your left, you would see INEC out of staff there, core members trying to explain the process of this election to the voters so they do not make a mistake and they're able to vote for the candidates of their choice. And of course, you see that if you look around me, you see that, of course, journalists are here to observe the process. You also have security operatives sitting meters away from the polling units there, where voters will be able to vote. You see them there doing, trying to, of course, ensure that the election is peaceful, is free, is fair, transparent as it can be. And you also see them maintaining their distance from the polling unit. So for the voters, of course, they're enthusiastic. They want to come out and choose the 10th governor of the state. That's since the creation of the state in 1991. So they are looking forward to this election. And the atmosphere, some persons would say, is tense, because if you look at some of the concerns election observers had raised in the past week about some intra-cult activities, some violence in some places, some threatening, some threats, being issued out to some political parties. And so these are the issues that the election observers have raised. Of course, they've also raised the issue of technology that's been used in the BVS machine and how to capture the elderly mostly, because that was one of the issues that election observers had raised in the last election, which was in June. That's the governorship election. So we're hoping to see INEC can improve on that process. We're hoping to see them build on the relative success they recorded in last month's election. Hopefully, we will get to hear of the story of the elderly not being able to use the Beavers machine today.
Well, Sarah, it's interesting that you have to flip your phone back and forth to give us the visuals. It's the beauty of technology, the use of technology in our kind of job, journalism. Of course, we've evolved. But looking at the security issues, what is the state of security in that polling unit you are in? Do we see police officials there, members of the Civil Defense Corps? What are the plans to ensure that at that polling unit we don't have let me use the word miscreants come around to scatter the process?
Police, from the reports we've gotten, and over the past week, the police have said that they deployed 21,000, which is a higher number. I think they are deployed 17,000 police officers for the election, but this time around they are deploying 21,000. Hopefully, that's to cover the 30 local government area in Osun State. Oshobo, for instance, is having close to 200 polling units. This particular local government, which is Berkeley local government, is supposed to have about 112 polling units. So the security officials are, of course, stationed at different polling units. While we were traveling down here, which is about 40 minutes drive from Oshobo to this place, we saw, of course, there are checkpoints, police officers, security operatives are at different spots on the road trying to check. If you're not supposed to be on duty, if you're not on election duty, you're not allowed to access some other parts of the state. And so we have that going on. And of course, the security operatives have assured that this election will be free, fair, transparent. It will be violence-free. Hopefully, thugs or politicians will be able to put their house in order and ensure that this process is free. But for the people now, they're expecting that the election is peaceful. They are optimistic. They are enthusiastic. You see them coming out in their numbers, to check for their names with their children on their backs, and just coming out to vote for the candidate of their choice. But if I would give you another piece to show you the security operatives that are at this point, let me see if I can really do this. So you see that there are security operatives down there. They are the ones, you have about 4 security personnel seated, that's on in the uniform. You have some other persons not wearing uniforms. They came earlier in a white bus. So you see that there are security operatives also. But of course, since this is the polling unit that the governor will be using, you should expect that the security here will be top notch. And so that's what we see operating here around this polling unit where I'm in. Subsequently, we'll be giving you reports about some other polling units that we'll be visiting. The polling unit I saw in Osogbo, we saw close to about 8 security personnel at that polling unit alone, which is not too, it's along the Ibadan expressway. So the security operatives say that they are bringing their A game, to this election. They want to, of course, prove a point. INEC also wants to prove a point, of course, consolidating on the relative success they recorded in the last month's election. So all of the security operatives, INEC officials, as you know, this is just part 8, and the election of INEC officials are already at the different polling units, just to, of course, consolidate on their relative success that they recorded now.
All right, so of course, the optimism is actually registered in your voice, and we can actually feel that optimism from your analysis of the situation around there. Thank you very much. We'll get more updates from you in subsequent bulletins. Thank you so much, Sarah.